When it comes to catching smallmouth bass, there are many ways to trip their triggers and make them strike. Jigs, spinners, crankbaits, and more. But if you're after the most exciting and entertaining method of conquering smallies, hands down, it's a topwater, flopping, dancing, sputtering across the surface. Big bronzebacks just can't resist a gurgling disturbance above their noggins and skyrocket upward to intercept and silence brash invaders to their domain. Wild fights and airborne acrobatics ensue when topwaters enter the fray, resulting in both numbers and size of smallmouths on the line.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That was cool. That was cool. That was so cool.
I'm trading rods with you. I want that wake bait.
I can't even tell you, man. That was...
Give me, I'm giving you this popper. I want that wake bait back.
Boy, I saw that thing hit it right here. It came up like a muskie and just blew it right out of the water.
Got him.
Yeah. You got him?
Yeah, I got him.
Doubleheader coming.
Oh,
another one.
You got yours?
Yep.
Look at it. Look at them. They're jumping everywhere. Look at the size. Oh, look at the size of the one he's got. It's a dog, man.
When it's hot, it's hot.
Look, you got a really big one.
This is a big fish.
Look at it. I'll get mine in here real quick. He's got himself a mule. I got a good one. He's got a mule. I tell you what, when you get in on, well, you see the size of both of these fish. When you get these smallmouth like this, when you get them going on a topwater bite, it is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable how many big fish you can catch. And of all of the bass family, smallies like this, like topwater, consistently more than largemouth or spots. They like it. Oh, you got to see this brute that he's got.
Smallmouth do like topwater, and I like smallmouth on topwater. Look at it. Look at the size of this queen of the deep. You know what? Oh, come on now. Look, hook's popped out. Belly lift. Belly lift. There we go. Right up against the lund. Be gentle. You know what? Topwater baits. Let me get the hooks out of this fish. Topwater baits, a lot of people think of them as cover lures. You know, fishing around cover on a lake like we're on up in Canada, Northwest Ontario, or on rivers, you know, to catch big fish. And they do work around cover, but right now we're not fishing around cover. We're fishing around cover, moving cover. We'll talk more about that. Look at that big, ooh, fun.
In 2003 and 2004, my brothers, James and Bill Lindner, won the Canadian Fort Francis Bass Tournament back-to-back on Rainy Lake, focusing on open water forage and chasing the smallmouth that hunted them down.
Another one. I just got a conversion one. I just got one of the conversion.
Look at this
One of
fish.
his buddies that were swimming with him.
Double header.
Yeah.
I think James coined the term mobile structure or mobile cover. I thought that was rather clever. And he was referring to bait fish, especially open water forage. In many bodies of water, the pods of pelagic bait fish are a primary food source, and smallmouth, being equal opportunity feeders, wander out and chase these bait fish in open water. And that's what we're doing today.
Northwest Ontario has the best smallmouth fishing I've ever seen in my life, steady anywhere. And the big lakes like we're on now that have Cisco, smelt, tullaby, these fish oftentimes run in open water. They'll come up, he's got another one. You got him? You got him? I'll get back to you in a minute.
He's talking and I'm casting. Look at that. Yeah, I'll get another bait out there. You got to. The rain's coming in. We've been dodging squalls all day, but I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it all day long, man. Look at this guy. Whoa. Some of the biggest fish you're gonna get are on topwater baits. Oh man, that is so much fun. I'm having a hard time catching my breath. This is like one of those times you can't get your lure out there fast enough. Oh, come on now, girl. Oh, look at that mogata, as Al would say. My gosh, that's so much fun. Look at that. They are heavy. Look at that belly on that thing. Look at that. They are heavy. Look at that belly on that thing. Just pigging out on open water forage. These fish feed on a lot of different forage. I mean, they feed on mayflies, they feed on minnows, they feed on cod. They'll eat pretty much anything, like me sometimes. We'll get her back.
Like I was saying, don't cast the second,
Okay.
just so I don't get bit. I can finish my sentence. These areas up here that have these big schools of open water forage, and usually the bigger the lake, it's got a lot of open water forage. These fish will often suspend out around the deep structures. You look for big basin areas like we're in now, where the open water forage wanders around. The top of the hump we're on, it's about 15, 16 feet deep, but we're catching fish 25, 30 feet around it. Many times they'll get off structure. Guys get structure in their mind. These fish, smallmouth bass in particular, anywhere they live, they're up, down, they're in and out many times in a day. In a day, these fish move. They're not like largemouth that tend to be sedentary and sit on a spot. These fish love to move. And oftentimes, if you're fishing in this part of the country here, you never go on the water without a topwater bait. And there's 4 styles of topwater baits, and they each have kind of a time and place. Let me explain what I'm talking about.
First off, there are 4 different hard bait styles of topwater lures for smallmouth. 1, you got prop baits, like Rapala skitter prop or X-Rap prop. 2, you have pop baits, like Rapala skitter pop or X-Rap pop. 3rd, you have jump baits, like Rapala's skitter walk. Then you have wake baits, like Rapala's BX waking minnow. All of these baits can be worked around cover or in open water, whether you're on a lake, river, or reservoir. But there are some little things that we have noticed over the years about each individual style of lure. Let's start with prop baits. This family of lures has a tendency to work in choppy to wavy water when some other lures just don't perform. This has huge merit because it's not always glass calm and sunny. Second, I would have to say that the skitter prop is one of the best hooking and holding topwater lures on the market. Third, prop baits work extremely well in current environments because just the slightest movement gets those blades a-ticking. Next is the poppers. These babies work their best when fish are neutral to positive. You can pop it and then just let it sit in the strike zone for a long time, and it drives them crazy. The unique popping noise does something to those smallies that drives them bananas. They have to take a peek, so it's a good search lure. Now we are on to jump baits. This style of topwater lure is not for the average angler. It takes some practice to get the cadence for a proper presentation, but the upside is huge. What I mean about that is it's a big fish bait. It's kind of like musky fishing. If you have some big ones spotted, put a jump bait on and they destroy it. The one thing about this style of lure is you need relatively calm conditions for its full effectiveness. That's why early morning and late evening are good times to chunk these lures. Finally, the wake bait. This style of lure has a ton of great attributes. Look at this BX wake bait. It is counterweighted to give that big rolling action. This bait is perfectly balanced to allow you to cast a mile, which is huge when you're chasing loose schools of open water smallies. You can fish it in flat calm to wavy conditions with equal success. Take a look at this. When this bait is waking at the surface, the reflection off the bottom of the water acts like a mirror, and you get a schooling image. You can also fish this lure fairly fast, similar to slow rolling a spinnerbait, or you can really slow it down and put the dance on. Are you ready for the best attribute of all? Big fish love it. And it's a great hooking lure. All you gotta do is control your emotions a little and you'll hook every one.
You know, like Al was saying, we're fishing over 30 foot of water. Oop, he's got one. Oh, go.
I'm telling you, it's every cast. It is virtually every cast.
Come on, I want to cast.
No, you can't. we got to take turns casting because the cameraman can't bounce back and forth. He's saying stop, one guy at a time. so each guy gets to catch a fish. He makes a cast. He catches a fish, releases his fish, and then it's the other guy's turn to cast. Ooh, this is a small one in comparison to the fish we've been seeing out here today. Wow. Come here. Look at that. Oh, got him. You know, I don't think there's a better, more exciting way to catch smallies, or any fish for that matter, on topwater baits. But smallies in particular, they bite on these things, especially up here in the far north, all year long. And it happens in the southern reservoirs too, where they're schooling on shad. And a lot of times these big fish are not on structure. They're around structure, but like I said, they're in and around running for these pods of bait. And this type of fishing, as far as equipment goes, I can't say enough. Any of the styles, whether it's a jump bait, a popper, a wake bait like Danny's throwing, you need to have bait casting rods. Monofilament, we're throwing Suffolk's mono, 14 or 17. He's got 17, I got 14. On mono, floats the bait, keeps it on top. Some guys use braid. I don't like braid. You tear some fish off it. I think I'm better off. I'll catch more fish with mono. I got a 710, a Quantum medium heavy smoke, and I got this little Tour Magnum reel that they come out with. This is a new reel that they just introduced, and it's made out of magnesium. This whole combination is like an absolute feather. And it's so much fun fishing like this. And this is what you want for equipment. But when these fish are up going like this, yeah, you know, they're really feeding. And they don't get real picky.
I got Al in a holding pattern. He's circling the tower. He wants to cast so bad he's licking his lips up there. I'll get this guy in so we can get some more. Oh, God. Come on, girl. Whoa. Splashy. Splash dancer. Woo. Look at that. That wake bait. That is proven to be extremely effective today. I'll get this bait off and I'll show you.
Oh, I missed him. I bet you I get him this time.
Look at that. Another bruiser, man, on that Rapala wake bait. That is a good looking lure, man. That thing just rolls. We got some more fish surfacing. Let's get on them.
It's my turn to cast. I like each guy makes a cast, catches a fish, talks a while. It's the next guy's turn. I'm up. Now, these topwater explosive big smallmouth bites like this, they happen in quite a few parts of the country, but they all got one thing in common. They're big water and they're clear water legs. Smallmouth, big smallmouth, I missed him. He'll come back. Big smallmouth, when they get to hunting big water like this, you need big legs, big bodies of water. This holds true in reservoirs, many of the natural lakes up north, parts of the Great Lakes. You know, clear water, big water, suspended forage. You know, that's where this can happen. And, I know a lot of people it's hard to get their head around throwing topwater baits over, well, in some of these cases, we're catching these fish over 50, 60 feet of water. You know, on a lot of these lakes, they're not even near the structure. They're running that bait out there, and the biggest fish are out there. I got my side imaging here to look at this piece here. It's set at 75 feet. I'm scanning both sides. I'm just coming up. That's down sonar. That's down imaging. You know, and the key when you come on these pieces, for these smallmouth, it's gotta have rocks. That could be a smallmouth right there. Okay, now you can see, I'm coming in, oh, there's some fish here. You can see it now. I'm coming into good rocks and I'm seeing fish.
You know, we're fishing some big country, and everybody's heard the old saying, you know, it's a small world. And this morning, Al and I got up and we ran into a couple that are from our hometown. Go figure. And these guys have been coming up there for a number of years, and they hopscotch around and fish a number of different lakes in this area, and they fish for walleyes, smallmouth, pike, lake trout. And it was interesting talking to these guys and what they had to say about the area and why they love it so much.
My family and I have been coming up to Crystal Beach for about 7 years. This year they haven't been able to make it, so I thought I'd bring my wife, and we've had a really good time. The lakes are absolutely beautiful. I feel like I'm a better fisherman coming up here, and I know I have a good chance of my wife hooking into a good one, and sometimes I find that to be a challenge where I'm from. And Jody and Tanya, the owners, are just absolutely awesome. They'll come into your cabin, they'll show you where the spots are, they'll make sure you're doing great. One of the things I really like about coming up here is the number of different lakes you can hop to. If for some reason there's a certain time of day where something's not hitting right, or you just want to go see another lake or try a different technique somewhere else, there are dozens and dozens of lakes all within a half-hour drive that you could spend weeks and weeks on end fishing. So we really enjoy our experience, and hopefully we can keep coming up year after year.
And you can have Jody come out and take you on a guide trip. We did that yesterday, and Jay caught a huge walleye, and I caught a 40-inch northern that bit the walleye that I was reeling in, which was a shock. I'd never seen that before, so it was exciting. And he's a great guide and really personable, made us a great shore lunch, and we really enjoyed it.
You know, we spend a lot of time on the road, and we get in some pretty remote places every now and then. And over the years, I've had some, well, bad experiences with bad gas, and a performance in our outboard motors was a disaster. I'll never make that mistake again. Seafoam for us has been an insurance policy that will never fail. This stuff, we don't go anywhere without this stuff. And you want to make sure you got the best performance in the world on your outboard motor and never have a problem? That's the insurance policy, guaranteed. And oh, that's
gosh.
a big gal.
Wow.
That's a donkey.
That was cool. That was cool. That was so cool. Boy, I saw that thing hit it right here. It came up like a muskie and just blew it right out of the water.
Got him. Got it. Oh, let's see. Feels like a pretty good one. Yeah. Yeah. This is so much fun. It is so much fun. Come on, tell me, let me see you. Look at it. Oh boy, she's a beauty. She is a beauty. Gonna give me another break? Oh, she's got hooks all over her, but she's a big one. What do you see the size of this mama? Whoa, whoa. Look at that. That's why I come to Northwest Ontario every single year and have been doing it for like 40 years to chase big smallmouth like this. I love catching fish like this. And you know what they love up here? You can catch them all year long on topwater baits. Those of you that might be fly rod fanatics, you could have a ball. You want the trip of a lifetime for big brown bass like this? Go check out northwestontario.com. Hey, everybody appreciates words of encouragement, something that's uplifting. I'd like to read you a letter I got from Matt from Ohio. It was a real blessing to me. This letter comes to you almost 20 years after the first letter I sent to you when I was 11 years old. I'm sure you receive letters like this all the time, but I just felt it was appropriate time to reach back out to you to say a sincere thank you for all that you've contributed to my life over the years. Ever since I was 5 years old and watched my first episode of Men Fishermen, you have been someone that I have admired a great deal and continue to admire to this day. Your passion for your craft and your commitment to your faith are things that I try my best to apply in my everyday life as well as my fishing. Like you, I have recently been brought back to my faith. Maybe it's my age, my recent marriage, or just a time in my life where I'm looking for answers to questions that I've been unable to find through other means, drinking, partying, etc. I read your book, First Light on the Water, and it really started to open my eyes to how the Lord shines light on me every day and how lucky and blessed I am to have such an amazing family, friends, and to be able to do the things that I love so much, like fishing. I thank you for having the courage to speak your faith with pride, as it seems in today's society is something that people tend to shy away from at times, and the media tries to sweep under the rug until a person of faith acts out of line, and then they jump all over him. I don't want to be long-winded, as I know you're a busy man, but again, thank you for being an inspiration in my life and a role model that many others than myself have been able to learn from in the past 30 years. It probably doesn't feel like you're doing anything out of the ordinary, just what God put you on this earth to do. And that is what makes you such an inspiration to me and others as well. Keep up the great work. I'll be watching and learning every week, just as I have for the past 25 years. Those are words of encouragement to me. Those are things that I like to hear and keep me doing what I'm doing. This isn't an ego thing. This isn't a pride thing. To me, it's humbling, truly, truly humbling that I have an opportunity to make that kind of impact on somebody's life. I had to share it with you. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water. Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for watching. And if you really like what you see, we got a whole lot more. So check us out at any one of these online outlets.